These are the 5 takeaways that I got from shooting Lollapalooza for the first time. I live in Chicago, and for me, whenever I moved to Chicago about 3 years ago, one of my biggest goals was to shoot Lollapalooza. If you know anything about me, you know that one of my long-term goals is to go on tour with a recording artist, experience that tour life doing their photo and video content, maybe just one of the two, but at a smaller scale, one of the things that I can do is shoot concerts. So the biggest concert in Chicago, well, it's Lollapalooza. This year, I got the opportunity to shoot for some brands within Lollapalooza and then also shoot a lot of the artists that came through. I had a really cool opportunity because I was pretty much able to shoot any artist that I wanted to, even though I didn't get to shoot every single one. But once I finished my work, once I did what I needed to do, well, I could go shoot whoever I wanted. So this brings me to my first takeaway. Put yourself out there. What do I mean by that? Well, go out and meet different creatives. Now, I'm not saying fire off a million DMs because, to be honest, that doesn't really work all the time. One of the better options might just be to meet people wherever you are. If you're at a shoot and you see another person with a camera, go up, shake their hand, meet them, get their Instagram, get their contact information. It'll be a real connection because I actually met somebody who recognized me via social media, and that was a cool feeling. He recognized me and knew who I was, but now that I actually have met him in person and see that he is a good person to work with, well, I'm more likely to hit him up for some work in the future. And I can probably speak for him in saying that he probably feels the same. Now that he met me in person, saw me in person, talked to me very briefly, he's more comfortable because it is an in-person relationship now. My second takeaway is to just do what you're told. A lot of the times creatives have these hard heads and think that their creative ideas are always correct. Well, I hate to break it to you, but if you're being hired by a client, the best way to make a good impression on them is to just do what they want you to do. You can feel it out, and if they are willing to give you some creative freedom, well, then speak your mind, tell them the direction that you think you could go in. But a lot of the time, what you need to do is just follow that shot list. You need to just do what you're told and do these different things that their creative vision requires. Sometimes you don't see eye to eye with people that you're working with. This was not necessarily the case for me. I had the luxury of using some of my creative vision blended with theirs to make the best product that we possibly can. But one of the first things that I had to do is just check those boxes that they gave me. I think whenever you start out creating, you're so afraid to follow what other people are saying because you think that creativity is just what you think. You think it's an individual task. You think that you have the best vision that there is, but that's not the case. I have found that as I've worked with more people, worked with more brands, one of the most valuable things that I can get is a shot list, because then at the bare minimum, I can be halfway through my day and know that I am on the right track. There's nothing worse than leaving a shoot not knowing if you got what they were actually looking for. Sometimes if I don't have a shot list, I'll leave and just hope for the best, hope that my vision was aligned with theirs. But one of the things that a shot list can do is just give the person shooting the same ideas as the person that is the creative director. It's just an easy way to be on the same page because the shot list is not necessarily everything that you're going to get, especially when shooting an event. I find that having a shot list gives me a base so I can check those boxes and then do what I think is correct. When you're shooting events, there are things that just happen. Sometimes the shot list is just timestamps of when different people are going to make appearances, when different things are going to happen. But once you check those boxes, then you're allowed to go off and do whatever you think is best, and maybe they'll end up using those shots. But you save yourself by checking off those shots that they require you to get. Accomplish the shot list and they'll be happy at a bare minimum. Number 3 is a technical lesson. Now, this is something that I hadn't really noticed because I have only shot 2 festivals before, and this was the first one that I really shot the full festival. That was a large scale festival with multiple stages and a lot of ground to cover. The festivals that I've shot in the past, well, I could run back to the trailer, switch lenses, and it wasn't really a problem. At Lollapalooza, that's not really an option. There's so many people, there's so much space, and so it might take me 10 minutes just to get back to my trailer to switch lenses. So I learned that I need to have a better system when switching lenses, when switching gear. this might be having multiple camera bodies. I think that it would have been really nice to have one body with a 70-200 and one with a 24-70 at all times. This would be really nice for photo, more difficult for video because sometimes I would want to be on the Ronin, but having two bodies would be really nice because then I don't have to worry about switching lenses mid-set, missing those little micro moments, which are really the key to making good concert content. I also think that having a crossbody bag or some sort of bag on you at all times is absolutely essential. Whenever you're shooting concerts, like I said, you're not going to be able to go back and get stuff out of your backpack. And also, you probably won't want to carry around your backpack the entire time. So how can you go around this? You can get a small bag that can maybe fit a lens, some batteries, and some memory cards. That's all you really need. I think that after this, I'm going to get a bag that can fit a 70-200. I had a bag that just barely fit a 70-200, but whenever I needed any other gear in the bag, it wasn't gonna fit. So I made it work with what I have, but now I know that in the future, whenever shooting festivals, I should get a larger bag so I can have it around my hip and be able to switch to the 70-200 whenever I need to. Another technical thing that I found, and we'll just keep this under the umbrella of number 3, well, you should keep your shutter speed high. This is a photo tip. You know, if you're shooting video, have your shutter speed twice your frame rate. Don't change that. But if you're shooting photo and you think that your shutter speed's good enough, well, I would say make it a little bit faster. So if you're at 1/300, maybe go to 1/400. It'll just save you that little bit of sharpness that you can't really fix in post. This is just a weird thing that I noticed because I shot some photos and I was like, man, that could be a little bit sharper, and you just saw a little bit of blur in the hand, or maybe the eye wasn't perfect. Having the shutter speed up could have been the solution to that problem. Number 4, and this could arguably be the most important, it's just to keep going and then these things will happen. The past 3 years, I never really had a vision of how I was going to shoot Lollapalooza. Now, some people might say that the best way to go about accomplishing some of your goals is to actively be pursuing them. I wasn't reaching out to people to shoot Lollapalooza. All I was doing was checking the boxes every day, doing what I need to do, and making sure people knew that I was reliable. Because as I've mentioned so many times on this channel, the people that have helped me the most have been other photographers. Now, a lot of people don't believe that whenever they're just starting out, but that's what I have found, and that's actually how I got Lollapalooza. I have a friend that I've met through some shoots who referred me, and then that person referred me, and then I ended up getting hired by who I got hired by, which I'm so grateful for. But I just realized that if you keep pushing, then it'll happen eventually. There's still goals that I want to do. Like I said, I still want to go on tour, but how I'm going to go on tour, well, it's kind of out of my control. All I can control is how I treat people and make people feel like I am the perfect person for the job. I also met so many people that have been in the industry for longer than me. And it's weird to say, but I don't really see that a whole lot. I haven't been in the industry for that long, but in the social media space that I'm in, I'm working alone a lot of the time. Now, I have met a lot of people that have been in the industry for a while, but I haven't met a ton of people that are in a totally different space than me. I met people that exclusively shoot festivals. I met people that don't really shoot a lot of short form content. I met people in all different spaces within the film niche. There's a bunch of different avenues that you can go, but mine just happens to be one of them. And so meeting these different people kind of gave me the vision of where I can be in the future. Do I know where I'll be in 20, 30 years? I have no idea. But looking at some of these people, looking at some of the things they have accomplished, well, I am nothing short of confident that I can accomplish just that, and meeting people like that make me want to keep going. Accomplishing something like Lollapalooza makes me want to keep going and just see what the future has in store, because there's already been some things that I've done where I wouldn't even believe myself if I told myself I was going to do it a while ago. Now moving on to number 5, the last thing that I learned by shooting Lollapalooza, my dream shoot. Well, I confirmed that I love shooting music. Now this might sound like nonsense. Oh, Joey, you're just tooting your own horn, but I really just noticed that me saying that I want to go on tour, saying I want to shoot music, well, I never really knew if that was the truth, but what I figured out is that I enjoy this. I had this really big realization where I shot this music festival. It was about 2 12-hour days and then back-to-back 6-hour days, which is pretty long, especially over a weekend after working all week. But I didn't get burnt out, and that was weird to me. I'm used to getting burnt out after working these super long hours, but that just didn't happen. And it made me realize that doing something that I enjoy, even if it requires a lot of hard work from me, well, I enjoy it. I don't get burnt out. I can keep doing it and work these long hours because I'm excited. You kind of get disconnected from the whole value of excitement when you're creating, whenever you go through the everyday flow of working. At the end of the day, this is my job. I take pictures, I take videos so that I can make money. That's how I make a living. But there's something about those times whenever you send your friends that video that you made, when you send those photos to your creative friends that you're so pumped about, you watch it over and over again. Now, a friend of mine, Johnny, who I'm grateful to call a friend now, he works for Ghost and he's also a creator on YouTube. And he posted this thing on his social media recently where he talked about just that topic. Create more things that make you want to send it to your friends, that make you want to share it over and over, watch it over and over. That doesn't happen all the time. In this Lollapalooza video that I made, well, it was just that, and I'm so grateful for it. Now, what you'll see in the next week or so is a Lollapalooza breakdown. Now, what could that be? Well, the Lollapalooza breakdown is the breakdown of the video that I made. The video that I made, I'm super proud of, and it was just one of those projects that I was super pumped to share with all of my friends and all of my followers. Now, those are the 5 takeaways that I got from shooting Lollapalooza. If you haven't yet, throw me a subscription because, you know, it really helps. And I'm just going to try making this YouTube thing consistent and keep putting these out because I want to help the younger me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.